Marilyn, you were born on December 7th.
1932.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
It was my birthday, and I had a few friends that my mother had let me invite for lunch, and we were sitting in the dining room and waiting for the birthday cake to come out, and my parents were in the kitchen, and they weren't paying any attention to any of us at all, and that was rather frustrating. And then I remember the door opened, and my aunt and uncle, who lived in the next block, walked in, and I could hear them out there talking, and then the radio was going out there, and I was thinking, like a little kid would, why aren't they paying any attention to this birthday? And even when they told me that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor, it didn't mean a thing. All I know is they ruined my birthday party. I had one sister. Her name was Virginia, and Virginia had a very steady boyfriend, and they were quite serious about each other, and he went off to war. And he never came back. We have Blair here in Warren. At the time it was called the New Process Company. It was a new process of doing many things. She was working at the New Process, and she had a friend of hers, Mrs. Ciliano, and she said her son Leonard was in the Navy, and he had a bunkmate that never got anything from home. No letters, nothing. And she said, Virginia, why don't you start writing to him so at least he'll get a letter? And my sister wrote to him for 2 or 3 years. And when the war was over, he came to visit her. He lived at that time in Amherst, Massachusetts. But he came to visit her, and the rest was history. They fell in love, got married, and he became a Warren native.
So let me recap this here. Yeah. Your older sister was dating a guy who went off to the service and died.
Yes.
And then as a result of a friendship, somebody suggested she write to a bunkmate friend. She did.
Yes.
2 years later, this guy shows up. They get married.
They get married.